Brian and Lynn here to tell you about an exciting new OSG release series, OSG 3.7. I'm just kidding, there's not nearly as much Photoshop in this slide deck as yesterday's. I am coming to you as the OSG software area coordinator, not as my infomercial persona from yesterday. So the OSG software team aims to provide a well-tested integrated software stack for sites to contribute resources to the OSG. For example, the OS pool. And this OSG software stack is distributed in various release series. And we use these release series to make major changes, new major versions of major software, changing what pieces of software go into that integrated software stack. We kind of treat it analogous to an operating system. So when you do a major operating system version upgrade, you kind of have to take things seriously rather than your regular kind of nightly upgrade. When we release a new release series in the OSG, this triggers the end of life of the previous release series. So the previous release series will get an additional 6 months of full support. And then after that 6 months, we will support that previous release series with critical and security bug fix only support. And historically, each release series is supported for about 2.5 years. So you can kind of see this. We've been doing this since 2012 or so. And one thing I want you to take from this chart is that about every 2-ish years, we do a new release series. And then there's also some variance in the lifetime of the support for each release series. So I mentioned the 6 months of full support, then the 6 months of critical and bug fix only support. But that we can change the length of those support cycles based on feedback from the community and how serious the surgery is that we're doing it within the software stack itself. Within a given release series, we kind of have 2 different pipelines. So we understand that a lot of sites in the OSG are providing production services for various experiments. So a lot of times sites don't really want to rock the boat too much. If there's a new major version of Extra-D that we release or new major version of HTCSS, there are going to be some folks that really want that new software, but then there are going to be folks that are in the middle of a production run and are maybe a little bit squirrely about updating their site mid-run. So in each release series, we have the main release Yum repository, and this contains the bulk of the software stack. For those new major versions of software that may come mid-release series, we throw that into the upcoming repository. So you can think of them as kind of 2 different pipes. And we tell folks, sites, that these packages in upcoming may require manual changes upon upgrade. So people know what they're getting into. And so this is kind of peeling the curtain back a little bit on the pipeline. So these are the main production releases, both for OSG release and upcoming release. But on the way to the release, there is a lot of testing involved that goes into this integrated software stack. So when a new version of software comes out, we will build it into OSG development, then run it through some automated integration tests, and then make it available in these testing repositories. And sometimes these pieces of software will have bug fixes that specific sites will be interested in testing out. And so we will say, hey, if you would be so kind, please install out of testing into your production site to make sure that this fixes what you're having trouble with. And then once we get some of that feedback, then we push this into the release area. So where are we today? Today, we only have 1 currently supported release series, and that is OSG 3.6. We release software updates into OSG 3.6 in a rolling fashion. Previously, we would only release version or software updates once a month. but we basically update the pieces of software in the software stack as they come in and as they are sufficiently tested. We currently support Enterprise Linux 7, 8, and 9. The current major packages that we have in the software stack are HD Condor 10.0 in the release repository and 10.x in upcoming. So that's the HD CSS, LTS, and feature series respectively. We also have HD Condor CE6 and then XrootD. Is this right? 5.6? Isn't it 5.5? 5.5 right now. I'll update that slide later. 5.6 has just been released upstream, but we are currently still testing it. So for OSG 3.7, we are going to make a couple of changes. One of them is that we're going to rename the release repository to main to better differentiate release and upcoming release. So we'll have main and upcoming. The expected major packages for the initial release are going to be HDCSS 11.0.0 in main and HDCSS 11.1.0 in upcoming. And you'll notice here that I don't list Condor CE because the HDCSS team plans on aligning the HD Condor and HD Condor CE version numbers. And then we will also be shipping XrootD 5.6 in May. Under the hood, we're going to make some improvements to our security by integrating hardware signing keys into our packaging, building of packages, and promotion of packages through the various testing processes. But the most important thing here is that the OSG release series support timelines will align with HTCSS releases. So I'd like to introduce you to our plans for OSG 11.
Hey, Brian?
Yes?
Aren't we doing HD Condor 23 next?
That's a good point. All right, so third time's the charm. I'd like to all introduce you to the HTCSS and OSG 23 release plans. So what that means is that the new OSG release series will be released with each major HTCSS version. So the LTS versions will go into main. So for the next release, it will be 23.0.x. And then the feature versions will go into upcoming. The major versions will correspond to the year, and they will match between OSG and HTCSS. We're aiming for annual releases targeting about Q3 each year, and having 2 releases supported at any given time. So this is kind of what we're thinking it'll look like. So right now we have OSG 3.6. This was released in 2021. And we are aiming for closing that out around 2024 or mid 2024. But moving forward, we will be supporting 2 release series at any given time, and we aim to have a very regular release cycle for major versions. So for OSG 23 in particular, we're aiming for an August 2023 release. And the expected major packages for the initial release are HTCSS 23.0.0 in main and HTCSS 23.1.0 in upcoming. We will still ship XrootD 5.6 in main. And one thing that I should mention here is I say major packages. I love all of my children in the OSG software stack equally. And so what I mean by major packages here, if there's these are the pieces of software that when there is a major version release, it may cause issues for a production site. And so these are the ones that we have to pay very special attention to. OSG 23 will support Enterprise Linux 8 and 9. And the previous version, or the currently supported release series of OSG 3.6 will be supported until at least June 2024. The plans aren't fully concrete there, but we know that Red Hat will be dropping support for EL7 in June 2020. And that's all I had. Are there any questions?